Hashtag not sponsored by Mountain Dew. You saw nothing. Okay, so recently I was going through some comments that I had not yet deleted from people that I had blocked, which had been on there before I blocked them, which means they were like privatized in my little comments area for me to view at my leisure. And it wasn't until recently that I actually decided to give a fuck enough about it to actually fucking look into it. And inside this little comment section, I found a little comment that said "God hates you" with a hyperlink to it. So I clicked the link and found this little gem. I'm going to hold it there for at least a couple seconds, so I'm sure you guys can actually see this. And keep in mind, the guy who created this little fucking list is white as well. So the whole white privilege thing that he commented makes no fucking sense and sounds hypocritical at best. Okay, so let's get on to the real point of this. I'm going to read exactly everything he's said in the way that he has said it. Okay, let's see. Top of the list, of course, as you already know, are people who are going to hell and will die alone. Yeah, like, he says this, like, instead of saying, in my opinion, like, he says it, like, definitively, as though he knows for sure that's exactly what's going to happen after death. I believe in God. I believe in Old Testament vengeful God. I believe no one. There's a space bar, fuckhead. There's a space bar for a reason.
You do realize that the Old Testament basically supports...
Well, let's see, it supports rape, bigotry, homophobia, racism, slavery, violence. Like, basically all the things that you claim to oppose in this little countdown, motherfucker, the Old Testament actually supports wholeheartedly if it's in the name of your God. Like, you see how fucking stupid that sounds if you support an ideology that ends up being against everything you claim to be against. I mean, think about it. This ideology supports everything you claim to hate. Because if you think about it, like, bullying is also homophobia in certain aspects of it. Okay, no one can escape God's fury, especially when they have done wrong to others. Again, the fact that you've, like, fucking slammed my page with homophobic remark after homophobic remark only goes to show that you have done wrong to others. Here's a list of people who are going to hell, in my opinion, and I will give you reasons why. How about you give me a reason not to tell you to go fuck yourself? Does that sound more appealing, bitch?
Ooh, the southern accent.
I don't know, like, all my Kentucky relatives ended up popping in for a minute.
I guess you've been spending too much time down there?
Not too much time, but the fact is it's always fun to, like, throw an accent in there because it always catches people off guard, so, like, it's a little split second of humor, or, like, just a little, like, what the fuck moment to just really make people, like kind of act like a hook to get people interested.
Considering my father's family is from Kentucky?
Yep.
Yeah, that explains it.
Number 1, Joshua William Briscoe. Reasons: he is abuser, a bad person. Dude, again, like, yeah, someone can do something shitty and abuse someone, but if it's like one instance that you catch on film and that you can't compare to the rest of the time you've seen this person, then you literally have nothing to go on. His sins are lust, anger, and ego, okay?
You forgot vanity.
And vanity. Hold on, let me just say something. Everyone can be vain from time to time, but it does not mean they're trying to be vain. People can be unknowingly vain if they admire themselves in the mirror and say, "Oh, I look good today. Maybe I might just land this interview today." Now, okay, lust, dude, again, everyone gets aroused by someone. It's not like I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say you castrated yourself with bolt cutters and then cut off your own dick. Because that's literally the only way you cannot feel lust towards anyone at all.
Ta-da!
Is if your God literally shames you for being biologically attracted to another person. Which is kind of fucking stupid. Anger, okay?
Everyone gets angry.
So you're telling me that because you got angry because I called you a fucking moron for just generalizing everything about me, that in turn makes you going to hell because you got angry because I told you that you're being an asshole for generalizing.
Do you know how hypocritical that sounds?
Well, it sounds extremely hypocritical given the fact that, well, yeah, he said all the shit that he said, which goes to point out he's a fucking idiot. Respects no one, not even himself. Dude, again, it's hard to dictate whether or not someone respects someone unless you actually, like, if you included, like, hyperlinks to videos where he'd respected no one or himself, it'd be a whole lot fucking easier to believe you. You understand what I'm saying now? and yelled at God for not being popular on YouTube and stopped believing in him over YouTube. Dude, again.
Bullshit.
Dude, a person's belief system doesn't need to be based upon your belief system. The fact that a person believes or does not believe only goes, well, it's their personal choice to believe or not believe in something. The reason I don't believe in a God is because of all the bullshit ideology that was crammed down my throat as a young child that turned me off to the idea of an organized religion. It wasn't because I didn't want to believe. It's because when I would fact check everything and compare it against things that science was actually able to confirm, they didn't add up. And people in my family had bitched at me and told me that I was a fucking idiot because I didn't believe in an ideology that was literally trying to be rammed down my throat.
Okay, he uses God as his personal slave and twists holy scriptures for his own amusement. So do you!
That's actually true, sir. You are doing just that by trying to tell other people that they are shitty people for not believing in your God. Which is basically, again, you ramming it down people's throats.
This is too fucking stupid.
He goes also criminal level of abusive. Dude, again, you've said abuse twice already, and instead of actually getting into specifics, you just keep saying abusive. Like, you could have left links or, like, criminal reports and hyperlinks in the fucking paragraph to lead us to this evidence, but you had not done so, so it's hard to believe you. He has always evaded jail time and has manipulated his fans and friends. Okay, number 2, Christopher Yadgozinski. Reasons: fake autist, abuser, cyberbully, liar, manipulator, woman abuser, shitty older brother. He is guilty of anger and vanity. Again, anger and vanity. Also you, also me, also everyone. Dude, a fake autist, like, okay, fake autist, yeah, it's kind of shitty to fake a mental disorder, but it's not a tremendous fucking deal to, like, throw a fucking fit about it and make him look like someone who's, like, hellbound. Let's see, a cyberbully, hold on. Aren't you also a cyberbully for shitting on me? Liar. Again, you're a liar yourself for saying false things about me.
He shit on me too, so that makes it doubly bad.
A manipulator, woman abuser, shitty older brother. Aren't you also a woman abuser for verbally assaulting a woman who you know nothing about because of their association with me, i.e. her? I mean, seriously, dude, you're calling people out when half the shit that is on this thing that you disagree with is actually what you've tried to push off on other people when you've done it yourself. Okay, number 3, and this is actually me. This is actually me he's listing, but he can't even spell my name right. Mick Gage Rants.
Hold up. I have so many things to say about this. First off, he's guilty of slander, ego, vanity, and anger. What the fuck? Okay, seriously. Like we discussed before, everybody's guilty of anger, everyone's guilty of vanity, but he never slandered anybody. Get a fucking grip.
Like, yeah, I'll use information that's provided to me, and I'll use information that I can dig up. But if I can't find information to prove otherwise, then I'm left with the assertion that information is correct. Now, if someone's able to prove this information is incorrect, I will apologize, and I will terminate the video that the information is in. But again, I require proof to just terminate a video, like anyone else on the site.
Alright, he slanders people and calls them mean names.
I'd like to point out the hypocrisy here. You called me a shithead and called me an asshole because I didn't agree with Black Lives Matter's victim complex agenda, and for some reason that doesn't make you a fucking idiot for doing that.
He gives misinformation to subdue his enemies. Language. Apparently English isn't your first language here, buddy.
Well, it isn't. He already told me it wasn't.
He's also a liar and puts other people down.
Don't you also put other people down like you tried to put me down? And aren't you also a liar for lying and trying to claim that I did not have any problems in life and claiming that I'm somehow subject to white privilege, which doesn't exist?
This just pisses me off so much.
Okay, number 4, Christian. He is guilty of anger, vanity, and ego.
Okay. So for whatever fucking reason, you put my partner higher than fucking Chris Chan. You're beyond stupid, aren't you?
Think about it, though. Chris Chan has actually done a lot of shitty things. Like, he had a friend named Megan, from when I've actually done extensive research on Chris, because I was going to do a rant about him sometime in the future, even though he's old news. He actually do explicit images of a female friend and him engaged in a sexual activity. And keep in mind, this is like 8th grade, like, not even 8th grade, like 3rd grade level drawing, but the fact that he did it to a friend of his and violated their privacy and did such a shitty thing to them that they literally had to cut contact with him for the sake of their well-being. goes to show that he's far worse than anything I could ever be. Let's not forget the fact that he maced a GameStop employee over the arm color of a fucking fictional hedgehog, which no one gives a flying dick about.
So many red flags.
Look, the fact that Chris also treats people like Asperger's, which she and I actually both have, and if you want, I can actually show you a medical form which demonstrates I have said ability. Well, disability, I guess you can call it. Granted, I'd have to censor certain things out with a black marker, but I can show you that's what I have. Like, I hate him for that. Like, I would beat the shit out of him if locked in a room with him for that. Let's go to number 5, shall we? Paul Rose. Like, okay, I'm somehow worse than fucking Paul Rose. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you really so hard up that you gotta say that someone who's never hurt anyone is somehow worse than a fucking pedophile? Are you fucking kidding me with this horse shit?
Raped 5 young girls. He's guilty of vanity and anger and being a retard. Really?
Dude, being a retard isn't really a sin. Like, yeah, acting moronic is something that a person deserves to be called out for. But I don't think it's, like, worthy of going to hell. Again, anger and vanity is different. I'd be more worried about the rape thing. That's the thing you should actually be concentrating on, you fucking moron. Anger and vanity is something everyone's subject to. Okay, let's move on to fucking Nick Bates.
Guilty of raping his underage cousin, also a disgusting human being who is into disgusting fetishes. That's his own business!
Dude, honestly, fetishes are someone's own business. Like, yeah, some people have some really fucked up fetishes, which some people should avoid entirely, and some of them should just not exist entirely. But again, like, fetishes are a person's own business. The raping his cousin thing, yeah, that deserves to be spotlighted because, yeah, that is fucked up. But the fetish thing is just, it doesn't make any even fucking sense to even talk about it, so let's move on. 7, Benny the Beast. He's a manipulator, a liar, and a terrible friend. Doesn't think autistics like me deserve rights, and finds people who fight for disability people right.
Hold on a minute.
Funny.
Hold on a minute. He's saying, okay. He's saying that, what is it? Saying Chris Chan treats others, who treats people with Asperger's like shit, and yet he himself is saying that he's autistic.
I find it.
What do you sense here?
Well, let's see, my hypocrisy sense is tingling. And I hate to say it like that, but if you really had a hypocrisy sense, this would be like this would be basically if it like triggered like a headache for someone that had a sort of sense. This would kind of be like having a fucking hangover times 1,000, because literally the hypocrisy is like dancing around in a circle, masturbating itself off to the idea that someone could be so fucking stupid. Let's move. Okay, read the rest of Benny the Beast. He finds it funny to troll people who fight for the rights of disabled people, and he's a shitty human being in general. Dude, if this person is your fucking friend, then you shouldn't be friends with them. If you're fucking stupid enough that you're gonna add someone as a friend or have someone as a friend who treats you shitty because of your disability, then you don't need this person as a fucking friend. But the fact that you're willing to put like a fucking personal thing on here like a fucking moron and then use your own personal vendettas to attack people is kind of shitty.
The guy who hanged a dog and got away from court.
Dude, again, like, yeah, that is fucking shitty, and I would probably beat the shit out of the guy that would do something like that to a dog who didn't deserve it.
If you don't know who it was,
then why the fuck even put it on here?
Then why even say anything about it?
Like, I know it seems like a big problem to you, but it seems kind of pointless to needlessly obsess over it.
You can escape humans' court, but you can't escape the vengeance of God. Fury of God is unforgiving.
I'm gonna have to do 2 parts for this because we're almost out of time. So please just give me a minute to like upload the second part. I'll be back in a minute.